Baseball with Bruce Johnson. Bruce back in studio with us. Bruce, let's begin with your newsworthy items. Toby Stevens out of Ottawa Hills. How has he elevated the Green Bears?
He's really helped them. Everybody remembers his brother Sebastian Stevens and what a great job he did. Well, I had their game against Whiteford on Thursday, and Toby Stevens came out, was a little rough in the first inning, battled his way out, but what I liked about him, he competed. He went out, shut down the Whiteford bats. It was just awesome the way he handled the game and controlled the tempo from the start to the end.
Ottawa Hills 3-2 over the past week. We now move to Bowser. Roy McCrandle is leading a Blue Racer team that is averaging 17 runs a game over their last 5 matchup. What makes him so dominant at the plate?
Well, he's batting .500 this late in the season, which is really impressive. And with Kyle Schroep on the mound and Roy McCrandle with the bat, Bowser's had a great season. We're going to talk about him in just a little bit. But Kenny Baum, you're doing a great job over there. And this Bowser team had clinched a co-share of the championship in the City League.
And then we go to Anthony Wayne. You called the Perrysburg game after the Generals dominated the Yellow Jackets 10-0. You really could have chose any number of players to spotlight, but why Mason Desirwa?
I'll tell you what, because every good pitcher has to have great defense behind him. And this play in the bottom of the 4th inning, Mason takes 2 steps to his right, lays out completely, makes an unbelievable play, and any hope Perrysburg had of getting back in that game was killed right there. It preserved the no-hitter at the time. Obviously, the next batter was able to get the first hit for Perrysburg. But what a job, Mason. Keep playing that great second base.
Desirwa, a game-high 3 RBIs in that big-time win over Perrysburg. All right, your game of the week, St. John's. It's an uphill battle against an undefeated Defiance team. What can the Titans do to pull off the upset?
I think they can do a lot of things. They have the pitchers that can go out and shut him down. And for Sam Fisher, his team has played, I think, just a little bit under their ability this year. As you mentioned, Defiance is 18-0, but BCSN will have the game Friday night at 7 o'clock at Fifth Third Field. It's an opportunity for St. John's to knock off one of the biggest powerhouses in Northwestern Ohio. It'll be a great time, and watch it on BCSN.
St. John's only has 1 win this season against a team that is currently above 500, so that's going to be a fun matchup as well. All right, your team of the week. I don't know if I spoiled it, but tell us your pick anyway.
It's the Bowser Blue Racers. Kenny Baum, as I said, has done a terrific job over there. They're 14-4 this season. They were co-champs in the City League regular season, and I'll tell you what, this senior class of Bowser has 50 wins in 4 years. That hasn't been heard of from Bowser in a long time. And a credit to everybody over there. They're a very good team, and they may just crack my top 10.
10-1 in conference play this season. And now your player of the week, Owen Graff. What a special performance against Perrysburg. 14 strikeouts. What made him so dominant at the mound?
Yeah, the thing for me was this. Everybody knew he was committed to Ohio State and he was talented. He came out, struck out 5 of the first 6 batters, had that 90-mile-an-hour fastball going. He lost control of the fastball in the 3rd inning, so he went to his secondary pitches. Not very many young players can have a second or a third pitch they can go to that they can throw for strikes. He ended up regaining command of that fastball. He had 14 strikeouts of a very good Perrysburg team. I'm just so impressed by Owen Graff, and his future is very bright.
It's crazy. When you spoke to him post-game, you asked him, when did he know he had his stuff that day? He said after the first batter.
That's a great answer, and every coach likes to hear that.
And before we get to the top 10, you said last week that Anthony Wayne and Perrysburg had separated themselves as the top 2 teams in the area. But after watching Owen Graff, watching that dominating Anthony Wayne performance, what did the Generals prove to you after that matchup?
That they're a great baseball team, and we already knew that. But if you're Dave Hall and Perrysburg, you flushed that 10-0 loss. That was kind of just so not expected. It was unbelievable. Anthony Wayne came out hot. Couple things went Anthony Wayne's way. They play again, and that game could go either way. They are clearly the 2 best teams, in my opinion, in Northwest Ohio.
That is the perfect segue to our top 10. No change at the top. Anthony Wayne at number 1, Perrysburg at number 2, ditto. But Bowser sliding into the top 10 for the first time this season at number 10. What is your thought process between 3 through 9?
I think my thought process is this. The one thing that will stand out to our viewers is St. Francis beat Ottawa Hills yesterday. But the body of work throughout the season, I think Ottawa Hills is just a little better at this point. Lake's making a charge. St. John's has fallen a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Bowser cracks it in the top 10. I just like the way they're playing. I like their attitude. They're having fun and relaxed. So I think that makes the next week's going to tell a lot as we come down to the finish line of the regular season. It's going to be great now that tournaments are getting very close.
Bruce Johnson joining us in studio, breaking down yet another fantastic week in high school baseball. Bruce, thank you so much.
Thank you.